CrossFit Games, but only 11 men and 11 women will get to stay on the road to Fort Worth, Texas. It's the third and final day of the Syndicate Crown. Thanks for being with us inside the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. I'm Sean Woodland with former Affiliate Cup champion Adrian Conway, and Bella Martin has us covered down on the competition floor. So far, it's been all about the champ. Tia Toomey, perfect through 3 events.
She's perfect so far through 3. We've got 3 more. We've seen her actually go perfect before, Sean. 2022 at the Torian Pro. She is against an absolute monstrous field, though, here at the Syndicate Crown this weekend, and I can't wait to see what she brings to us here on event 4 this morning.
Overall standings coming into the day, we still have 300 points on the board, and Toomey 300 points already after winning the first 3 events. Emma Lawson only 30 points back, followed by Alexis Raptis, Danielle Brandon, and Paige Semenza rounding out the top 5. We just saw Brooke Wells improve her situation with the top time at heat number 3 at 8:36.72 seconds. Right now, Wells would be the final woman to make it to the CrossFit Games. Event number 4, rowing and handstand walks.
They're going to be rowing, and it starts short and builds in distance each round. We saw, Sean, how important that last 800-meter row is, and it's separated by varying distances of handstand walk, the middle walk being the longest.
The Go-Ruck steps to success. Anything changed for you?
Nothing is changing here at all. You got to be reckless on the rower, and even more so on the final 800 meters. And when you get upside down, you've got to brace and you've got to breathe. The legs and the arms are going to be actively working, but you've got to be firm in the midline.
Lane assignments here. We talked about Toomey possibly sweeping, but one woman who might be able to prevent that in this event is Danielle Brandon. She's in lane number 7. For more on her, here's Bella Martin.
Danielle Brandon's gone to the games 5 times, looking to make it in 6, already in a great spot to be. Known for putting on a show on her hands. But Adrian, speaking of show, I was already a fan of Danielle as an athlete, but after watching the documentary she just put out on her life, I'm an even bigger fan of her as a person now. Did you get a chance to watch that?
Oh, you know I did. You know I tuned in, and I'm a huge DBE fan. By the way, Bella, 9 wins on handstand walk events. This would be her 10th if she could notch another one.
Some good odds.
Everyone knows about Danielle Brandon. Not many people know about Lydia Fish, looking for her first ever CrossFit Games appearance, her second appearance here at the semifinals. She does have a gymnastics background and has 2 finishes of 10th place so far and sits in 8th place overall. But everyone chasing that woman, trying to go 4 for 4 here. Tia Toomey.
All right. Sean, what we noticed early as the women all take their spots on the rowers, that this 400 meters, does it matter? Absolutely. But more so, it gets even more important and carries more and more weight the deeper that we go and the more time that they spend there.
Momentous is the official sports nutrition and supplement provider of CrossFit. Momentous offers the highest quality third-party tested supplements and nutrition designed for everyday performance. You can use code CF20 or text 30493 for 20% off Momentous product.
Now, Danielle, having the ability and previous success that she's had on handstand walk events, this gives her a touch more freedom to row even more recklessly than a lot of the other female competitors that may struggle more upside down or not have the ability that she does. So it's almost like win-win for Miss Brandon here with her opportunity to take an early lead and try to hold on.
4th place overall coming in is Danielle Brandon.
And I noticed this right away. I'm so glad we get a beautiful shot of Tia here on this rower. Sean, she is pulling aggressively out the gate, not holding anything back. Look at her breathing cadence, the way she's doing a deep exhale as she leans back each and every repetition. She's clearing the lactate from her entire body with aggression and clearing space for the next breath. She has got nothing but bad intentions for this event.
Raptis, Toomey, and Brandon all off the rower at the same time, followed closely by Emma Lawson. And it's Alexis Raptis, who looks to be the first woman to make the turn at that green line. And she got a no rep. She was not over completely that section. She has to redo that section. Danielle Brandon now is your leader, along with at the top of the screen, Haley Adams in lane 10. She's in the red shorts as Haley Adams. And she's going to be on to the rower first. So Haley Adams, Danielle Brandon, and Tia Toomey, your top three as we head into the 600-meter row.
Sean, what I love most is, yeah, we watch Alexis Raptis get a no rep, but she recouped so quickly, stayed composed, and still put herself in a fighting chance. Sean, Haley Adams, this is crazy, but since 2020, her and Brooke Wells, they're 2-2 when it comes to handstand walking matchups. So we didn't mention her early, but we got to keep our eyes closely on Haley for this event.
Haley Adams has 2 second-place finishes so far in this competition, but she has a 35th in event 2 that put her in 10th place overall. Coming into the day, there is Alexis Raptis, 3rd place overall with 249 points.
Raptis did a great job again. Now, we know her fault. We know what happened. Her both hands did not make contact with the ground potentially before her foot hit the ground. She had to go back. That means she had to walk an extra 12 feet in that early round, but she was able to recover. We'll see exactly where she gets off the rower in this round coming off the 600 meters, but that could be costly in her overall placing.
Alexis Raptis is another woman. We mentioned this with Annika Greer, who worked her way into the later heats. Raptis did just that. She's gotten better with every event. She started the competition with an 11th, but since then a 5th and then a 4th in event 3 yesterday.
Now, we still see, I mean, even if you notice here, in lane number 5, it's like there's just a slight difference with the way that Tia is aggressively finishing each stroke with her arms as she leans back and pulls. Historically, Tia has had some success on handstand walk events, but she's never actually won one, Sean. So when it comes to like her natural strengths that she's got in her back pocket, this isn't an aspect of her fitness that she really pulls away from the rest of the field, so she knows she's got to set herself apart on the rower.
The judge's hand's going in the air here. I believe Haley Adams on the right side of your screen, her judge's hand was in the air first, but not by much. So Alexis Raptis, you talk about that no rep, her hand was outside the lane.
Yeah, that's what it was. I appreciate you mentioning that.
Well, Haley Adams is going to be off first.
Wow.
Tia Toomey now in second, followed by Danielle Brandon. Now here comes Alexis Raptis and Emma Lawson. Adams is done, and she's making the return trip here.
Doing a great job using her legs, cycling them over her body, her heels leading the way so that her hands can quickly follow. Head in a relatively neutral position. You see that she's looking directly at where her hands are going to go each step.
Haley Adams is now done, and she'll move to the rower for her 800-meter row, and there is her cheering section. Tia Toomey sits in second in the heat, 8:36.72 seconds. That is the time to beat, as now Alexis Raptis has pulled even with Danielle Brandon for third.
Sean, Haley has 8 top 5 finishes in handstand walk events and 8 top 5 finishes in rowing events. And oh, by the way, these two just happen to be married together perfectly for her to start today on event number 4.
Yesterday, she was on the outside looking in after that 35th place finish in event 2. She fell all the way down to 14th place, but now sits in 10th and looking to move up the overall standings here with this effort.
And we know how important this final row really is. So with these stats about Haley previously, knowing that she can sustain something quite uncomfortable, we get a side-by-side. Haley Adams, Tia Toomey, what they're able to sustain. These paces pretty much mirror each other, but Haley with the advantage because she sat down first.
Haley Adams with about a 30-meter lead on Tia Toomey here. 800 meters is what they need to hit. And then it's the final trip down the floor to finish this off with the handstand walk.
Haley focused, looking a little bit over to her right, maybe checking on what she could perceive as the effort from some of the other athletes. We see her coach and training partner there.
There's Alexis Raptis, who has made up some ground after that no rep.
And so much of this, Sean, is psychological and emotional games at work. You know, when you sit down on the row and you're going to spend the time there to accumulate 800 meters with so much on the line for these women, this is one of those things where you want to be able to reach and outstretch your potential capacity, but if you go too far, it will set you up for failure on the final handstand walk. So it's so important to have the self-awareness at the very highest level here for successful execution on the final stretch.
Toomey trying to put some pressure on Haley Adams here on this final 800-meter row. She, at last check, was about 30 meters behind Haley.
And it literally looked like Tia was rowing faster just now, Sean. Through the finish, it looked like she picked up a bit of her physical expression, which can tell us that it probably picked up her intensity on the row.
And the crowd erupting as Haley Adams' judge's hand is in the air, and now Tia Toomey's judge's hand is in the air.
One thing that Haley has on her favor too, Sean, a faster cycle rate. She's doing more strokes than Tia. Tia's pulling with more power. Haley had faster strokes.
And here comes Haley Adams. 8:36.72 seconds. That's the time to beat. Tia Toomey is off.
Wow.
Final section for Haley Adams. Looking at an event win if she can get in. The force is strong with Haley Adams, 100 points. The Toomey's going to finish in 8:41, which means Brooke Wells is going to earn second place in the event. Alexis Raftis is in. Now Danielle Brandon battling with Emma Lawson. So Brandon is across, followed closely by Emma Lawson.
What a race and what a finish there by Alexis Raftis, who got her hand out early and was able to recoup that deficit she created for herself.
Here comes Lydia Fish. Now Paige Semenza, who has quietly had a very solid competition. Everything inside the top 10 so far for Paige, an 8th to start the competition, then a 9th and a 6th. Came into the day in 5th place overall.
Wow.
Now a good battle going on in lanes 1 and 2. Fisa Goffi and Caroline Stanley.
Oh, Caroline, get that head down.
Folo is through. Fisa Goffi in the blue pants is in the lead. Sagaffi is in. And here comes Stanley.
Holy moly.
Event win for Haley Adams.
She is back, Sean. Oh my goodness, we had a race of all the races, but it was Alexis Raftis early, who, as you can see right there clearly, with her right hand on the line prior to getting across that green line, but she was able to recoup and recover and get back in the fight for a very strong finish. But it was an early story about Haley Adams. We talked about her having top finishes 8 times on a row event, top finishes 8 times on a handstand walk event. This couplet of gymnastics and monostructural together, she also has great history with, and she put it on full display today, keeping a blistering pace on the row and finishing all the way through in order to pick up her first event win back on track.